Hello, hello. I warmly welcome you to another material in another episode where we will talk about what to expect on Tuesday night, from Tuesday to Wednesday, and on Wednesday, when the low, Quiteria, will be moving through Poland, among other places. This low is already located to the west of Ireland. It will now deepen significantly and head towards France, then towards Germany and towards Poland, bringing very strong gusts of wind and a weather breakdown that will be quite severe. Let's now move on to the current situation and see what this low looks like. In general, we see a lot of cloud cover over the Atlantic Ocean, not without reason, as we also have the jet stream here. Let's take a look at what the jet stream looks like at the moment. Let's move to an altitude of 200 HPA. And here we have a very nicely outlined jet stream, which looks roughly like this, then like this, and further here. However, we have another meander that goes towards Europe, but part of it goes down here. And it surrounds this low, which will cause this low to enter Europe quite quickly, deepening significantly, which will bring a dangerous situation, primarily in terms of winds. With this information, we can now move on and see how the situation currently looks. Currently, this low is located to the west of Ireland, somewhere here in this spot. I obviously call it Q, meaning the Quiteria low. Let's take a look at the temperatures, and in the case of temperatures, we see the outline of the warm front and the cold front. The warm front should, I will of course bold it, the warm front should be reaching France, among others, to the UK, to Ireland, where it will be definitely warmer in the south of Ireland, while the cold front will be marked primarily in this area for now, but it will move very quickly eastward, that is, in the advanced direction of displacing this warm air mass, and this warm air mass will of course be displaced quite violently and quite dynamically. So, now, today, which is Monday, until the evening hours, and Tuesday, until the morning hours, is the deepening of this low and its approach to the northern areas of the Netherlands and the southern areas of the North Sea. Let's check, my dear, how this will look. How? Thank you. How does the situation look in these latest updates? Let's take a look at the icon model first. And I mark the icon in black, so we have the state for Monday, which is marked as 18.11.8 in the morning. And we have the state of this low-pressure system just west of Ireland. Let's check how it will look at night. It will move very quickly over the British Isles, and by Tuesday at 8 a.m. we should have it over Germany, somewhere around the Kingdom of the Netherlands, with a pressure of 987 hectopascals. And here we will mark 911.8 in the morning, and 987 hectopascals in this situation. So this low-pressure system will move very quickly here towards the Netherlands, over the Atlantic Ocean. Then, in the evening around 8 p.m., it should reach northwestern Poland. Of course, the cold front should also be moving in, so we will also outline how the situation looks. On Wednesday, it should be over the Baltic Sea around 8 a.m. The pressure will be 965 HPA, so we can see a line like this. And we also mark 20, 11, and 8 in the morning. So we have 3 days, and in these 3 days, we see the path of this low. Let's check the ECMWF model calculation. We will see what differences there are between these models. And again, let's zoom out and go again. So in the case of the ECMWF model, the situation is very similar. First of all, at this moment, however, we continue to check during the night. From Monday to Tuesday, it will move over the British Isles. According to the ECMWF model, it may temporarily become a multi-center low, but then we see how the situation looks again. In the case of the ECMWF model, we see this low, moving a bit slower, but along a path that is practically identical to that of the icon model. Maybe this arrow isn't perfect, but that's not the point. However, we see that this low will move more slowly compared to the calculations of the icon model. And at night it will deepen significantly and head towards northwestern Poland. And on Wednesday around 8 a.m. we will have this low again somewhere over the Baltic Sea. So the situation will be quite similar again. Towards southern and southeastern Poland, this low will be shifted, but really not by much. Let's also check the GFS model, the third calculation. In the case of the GFS model, the situation is marked in blue. It starts off quite identically, then at night this low drifts a bit more to the north, and around 6 a.m. we have it a bit further north, so the situation is somewhat different in the opposite direction, but generally you can see that the trajectory of these lows is already very similar. And this low will move over the Baltic Sea in these calculations around 6 a.m., 6 to 7 a.m. It will be further north here, so the GFS model sees a slightly different scenario compared to the two previous models, as it predicts the low moving further north. Regardless of the situation, we will of course have a warm front and a cold front, so I will quickly present how the situation with these fronts will look. At the moment when this low approaches Poland, I will use the icon model. We will of course have a system of atmospheric fronts. We will have a warm front, which, even looking at the temperatures, we will see roughly somewhere like this. And the cold front, which will be roughly in this general area here. It is precisely on this cold front that we will have definitely stronger wind gusts. On the warm front, however, we will probably have snowfall, which I will also mention shortly. This is how it is supposed to look, my dear friends, directly over Poland. Let's check the wind gusts that are currently observed here for our calculations. Let's take a look at the calculations. Here, for the average speed, or rather the overall wind speed, let's just start it up. All right, let's begin. I will mark the range up to 21, as that is the most important. We have, my dear friends, the icon model. In the case of the icon model, we see the strongest wind gusts around Quiteria, up to 135 km per hour. We see 110, 120 km per hour over the Baltic Sea, on the coast, especially in the Pomeranian voivodeship. These gusts also reach 100, 110 km per hour. In the Sudetes above 100 km per hour. In western and central Poland up to 70, 80 km per hour. So we see a correction regarding these wind speeds. These wind speeds are weaker in these calculations. But let's see how these speeds look, how they are shaping up. Okay, this will roughly look like this in that regard, so the strongest wind gusts will be in that area. As the low moves, the wind will blow in that manner slightly. This is the calculation from the icon model. Let's check the calculation from the ECMWF model, leaving also. Here are the wind gusts from the icon model, and you can see that in the case of the ECMWF model, we observe the strongest wind gusts in southern Germany, over the North Sea and the Baltic Sea, while over Poland, these gusts in these calculations reach up to 50 or 60 km per hour, so they are weaker. We have the GFS model left, and GFS sees a scenario with very strong wind gusts in Germany reaching 80, 90 km per hour. In northwestern Poland, 80, 90 km per hour, and over the Baltic Sea itself, up to 100, 103, 105 km per hour.